everyone out there, and welcome to my Halloween video. Today I'm going to show you how I'm going to go from looking like this to this. It can be quite a lot of work and it can take a little bit of time, but I think it's worth the effort if you want to have a really great costume. So hopefully you won't mind the length of this video. You'll think it's worth the outcome. I did my best to speed up everything in the video I possibly could without taking away from any of the important details. And I've made sure to cut out anything that really wasn't important. So hopefully you guys will still enjoy it even though it's long, you know. Take a break in the middle if you have to, but I think it's really going to be worthwhile for you to stick around right till the end. So having mentioned all that, we're ready to get started making ourselves look gross and rotted and just absolutely disgusting, so let's get going. Alright, so let's start making ourselves look nasty. I'm going to start with putting some cornflakes, and I'm going to need spirit gum, liquid latex, tissue paper, so let's get started on that. So when you're using the liquid latex, you want to make sure to get rid of any facial hair you have, because this stuff can stick in it pretty good and can be painful to remove, so just remember that. So I'm just going to get started with some spirit gum. Make sure you have spirit gum remover if you're going to use spirit gum, because you don't want to end up with this stuff stuck on your face and no way to get it off. So I'm just going to start on the forehead. And then you can wait till it dries a little to get sticky, but to make it go faster you can just tap it, and then it makes that happen a little faster. See, it's nice and sticky, and then start putting some cornflakes. Now these are going to look really gross once we're done. So as you put them on, you want to just push them so that they stick to the spirit gum, and then they're going to crack a little bit, and then at the end, whenever we're done all of our effects that we're going to do, we can pick some pieces out, and then those things can look like scabs that have peeled away or been picked away. Okay, so there we've got some scabbiness going on. Might do another patch of scabbiness over here. We don't want to put anything below this kind of part here down to your chin in a triangle, because this is where we're going to apply our beard and we want it to stick really well. So just remember, don't go past that sort of line there. Also, don't forget, before you use either the spirit gum or the liquid latex, you want to make sure that you're not sensitive to it, so do a little patch test on your wrists, leave it on for 30 minutes and then wash it off, and if you don't have any sort of reaction, then you're probably fine to use it. Then just, you can use your fingers and stuff, but for this part where I'm going to be painting on my skin to do a larger piece of tissue paper, I'm just going to take like a little tray and put a little bit on. Use this as a palette, and then I'm going to use my brush to paint it on my face. To make the liquid latex a little bit easier to remove at the end, if you just put some moisturizer all over your face, let it soak in and dry before you put liquid latex on, it should make it a little easier to remove. So that should be a helpful tip. Just paint wherever you want. Try not to get it in your hair. You don't want to get it too close to your eyes, your nostrils, or your mouth. It stinks. tissue paper, just a plain white tissue paper. Stuff like that. Got liquid latex on top of that. You can kind of go paint over top of your cornflakes with your liquid latex so that it sticks better and it becomes more of a uniform piece. And then it also helps so that you'll be able to apply makeup over top of it after done. On this side, to make it look like I've got a gory kind of wound, and for that you'll need these cotton pads or some cotton balls. So I'm just going to pull this apart to get to the cotton part. Just take a little piece of it, separate it. Don't need a whole lot of this, depending on how big you want the cut to be. And you just kind of roll it in your fingers so that you make the ends skinnier and the middle is sort of fluffier, and then kind of easier to manipulate. So you want to make 2 of those. And then I'm going to place one piece, kind of try to round it just slightly, like that. Another piece. Sort of. So you're creating a gap in the middle. Just like that. Perfect. So you got like a little gap right there. Try to get this to smooth out around the edges because this is going to be your cut. Probably use your fingers for the liquid latex for that part, just to soak that cotton really well. Blend the edges down to the skin. Use your fingernails to kind of open that wound back up. Separate it and then push it out like that. Now, I want to blend the edges a little more. So I'll try to just trying to get it to blend better with around the edges with the skin. So it's much easier to use your fingers. At least I find. Should be good. There we go. Looking pretty weird now. It's gonna be awesome when we're done though. Get it to blend a little bit better with the skin here. Smoosh it down on the edges. There, that's better. Just the back of your fingernail to just smush those edges down so that they become flatter to the skin. And then the inside, you want it to be, you don't want it to be flat. You want it to be raised in the middle so that it looks like a gouge. Looks a little swollen and stuff around the edges. So I think that's it for all of the kind of gross stuff we're going to stick to our face. At this point, we're going to have to let everything dry really good. You want to make sure that any of like the liquid latex that's white, once it's dry, it's going to look transparent. That should be good. Okay, this is pretty funny, but now that everything is mostly dry, this part here is still not quite dry. I think this is good. I added another piece of tissue paper to my nose and just along here. While I'm waiting for this to finish drying, I think I'm going to get started on applying the beard. So this should be pretty interesting. The beard I got is just beard with an elastic to wrap around your head, and I want it to look a little more realistic, so I'm going to cut pieces off and I'm going to apply them with the spirit gum. It's got kind of a piece of fabric here that the beard is sewed onto in layers, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where the layers are. Just separate the layers so that I'll know where to start cutting from. So you can see that it's one layer. Just going to take one chunk at a time. So probably about this much. And I'm going to cut it with scissors. I'm just going to cut it close to the base. And I'm going to end up with a nice chunk. And then I'm going to put my spirit gum on and I'm going to apply it like that. So you want to kind of start where someone's sideburns would be. So it's kind of like up here in your jawline. Kind of right there. Sort of like that. Just stick it in there real good. Okay, you got the beard on. It's gross. Now we're going to trim the mustache. It's itchy. So now that I've got this gross beard on, we can start doing the rest of our stuff, putting our makeup and everything like that. Now, so let's start with the makeup. You'll notice I've got all the spots dry, but even whenever your liquid latex is dry, it's still going to be sort of sticky. So you want to put powder on. I'm just going to use my usual pressed powder that I put on with my makeup. You can just use a regular talcum powder or whatever. It's just to make it so that it's not sticky anymore. So let's do that. So for this I've just used an older brush that I had because I don't want to use my makeup brushes that I use on my skin every day. I don't want to get them full of any kind of stuff that I don't want on my face every day. Okay, now with the tissue paper pieces, the reason why we did the tissue paper is it makes your skin look sort of wrinkly and kind of dry and icky, but you can also sort of pick at it and tear little holes so that you can make little parts of your flesh that are peeling away and sort of rotting, or just like that. You want to get some, like, pull them so that you still have the edges, so it looks like your skin is actually hanging off a little bit. It's starting to look gross already. Alright, so then we're just going to take, if you have Halloween makeup and stuff, then use that, but I didn't buy any Halloween makeup. I just figured I'd just use what I had, so I'm just using a regular liquid foundation just to make all the skin blended before I start applying the paint and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to put on now. Alright everybody, now that I've gotten my beard and I put the makeup on to kind of make it all one uniform color, I'm going to try to make my face look a little more pale because I am on dead, so I need to have it so it looks like the color has been all drained out of my face and stuff like that. To make my skin look paler and stuff, I'm going to use this little concealer palette that I have. It's got the green, lavender, yellow, and the peach color. I'm going to probably use the green and the lavender colors to try and make my skin look washed out. But first, I'm going to do another coating of this powder just to set what I've already done. I'm going to get started with washing out my complexion. Alright, so now that I've got everything all colored and set, I'm going to go in and do a little bit more makeup work, like darkening around the eyes, just to, you know, make those look more sunken in, and then after that we'll do the real cool gory looking stuff, and then it'll all come together. So first I'm going to take just a small makeup brush. I'm going to get sort of a brown colored eyeshadow. I'm going to start out there. You want to stick to like matte shadows, makeup's nothing shimmery, because those will just make your face look real sparkly, but you just kind of want to make it look darker. So we're going to go in around the eyes like this, around your eye sockets. I'm going to go in and add like a purplish plum colored eyeliner all around the eye, just to add like sort of more purplish hue. So first of all, what I'm going to do is these pieces of cornflakes, I'm going to take a piece out of some of them to make them look like the scabs have been peeling off, so those will be nice and gross. I'm just going to find a piece that's kind of broken, kind of in the middle, and then I'm just going to peel it out. Just like that. I'll do the same to this one if I can find a small section. Just kind of like that. Now we got lots of sores and scabs and open wounds paint. We're going to be using mostly a red and black and maybe a little bit of purple. But let's start out by painting. Let's do the wound on the side of the cheek. So I'm going to do this one. Just going to paint in between the two pieces of cotton that you laid in there. We're just starting off with just red for now. And then these ones where the cornflakes are, those ones are going to be sort of scabby, so you want to use some red in there as well. Now for the parts that we tore out from the tissue paper, those are going to be more like bruised, rotting wounds. So we're going to put some red, but we're going to add some purple to that, just to give them that sort of gross, rotting flesh color. Just sort of like that. You don't want the purple in these ones to be too vibrant. You want to add some brown to it. Get the edges so that they're lighter and the color kind of tapers out around. Like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to kind of remove some of the paint from the innermost part of these swords, and then concentrate it around the edges more so that it looks a little more raw in the center, and then a little more scabby stuff around the edges. And then outside of the wounds you want to just lightly taper that purplish color. Now we're going to get our black. It's a black color. We got some black, and then we're going to go back to this wound here, just around the very edge. We're going to add in some black to give it more dimension. Just like that. If it gets too dark, you can add a little bit more red back to the center. And then to make the scab stand out more, I'm going to do like a brownish, orangey kind of color, just so they look crusty looking. Alright, so now we've got all our gross wounds and everything painted. We look pretty gross. Hopefully you can see that I've yellowed the scabby parts a little bit so they look crusty. I've added a little more purplishness here and there. Everything looks really gross. So then all we have to do is figure out what we're going to do to our hair. And maybe just put a ponytail holder in it. Elastic, as long as it covers the sides so that I look like you can't tell that I don't have sideburns. Okay, so for my hair, I didn't buy a wig, so I figured I would just do something with my own hair anyways. But if you want to buy a wig and add a wig to it, that's perfectly fine, that makes sense. Especially if you don't have a lot of hair or you just don't want to mess with your hair a whole bunch. And then I would just get an old button-up white shirt and maybe like an old cardigan or an old sport coat. Again, Valley Village is a great place to go to get these types of things that are kind of ugly and you're never going to use again anyways, but just get an old shirt and you can kind of dirty it up a little bit and button your shirt kind of crooked and just make yourself look as messy as you can. And then that's it, and then you're ready to go. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. It was a little bit of work, it took a lot of time and stuff, but it was fun to show you guys. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to my channel, and then you'll be able to keep up to date with when I'm posting new videos. And you can find me on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll leave all the information for all the places to find me down in the description of this video. So again, I guess we're all done here. I think I look pretty disgusting, and that was the goal. And I'll see you guys all next time. See you later. Bye bye.